The great hailstorm of 2024 unfortunately wrote off my girlfriend's little Suzuki SX4, but in exchange, we picked up this 2006 Chevy Colorado, and it's been pretty good for the most part. I can't really say too much negative about it. The only thing that I can say negative about it is the previous owner, I would say, wasn't 100% as honest, and or this truck ended up showing it had a lot more issues than we initially thought. We did all our due diligence, and unfortunately shortly after, this thing started rearing up its ugly head and showing us it had some issues. The issue I'm working on today is we would be driving the truck, and we noticed almost immediately, well, shortly after driving the truck, we noticed that the ABS light was coming on. So we were like, okay, well, something is going on in the ABS system. And then on occasion, the ABS light would come on, and then the brake warning light would come on. And we checked the brake fluid, it was good. So we weren't really sure what was going on. And then we noticed sometimes you drive around and the lights would go completely off. And then, so we're like, okay. And then what would end up happening is, in another time you'd be driving around and the ABS light would come on and you'd hear the pump go off. So we're like, let's check this out. So the unfortunate thing about ABS codes is that your generic little sub 100 code scanners generally can't read those codes. So you need one that will specifically read ABS codes. So I picked up this Ancel, I don't know what model and number it is. It doesn't say on it. That's the back sticker. Maybe it'll say something. I'll put the part number of it in the description. And we picked this up, and it's been good, but it's slow. That's my only complaint about it. So we came out, hooked it up, and you can see that we got a couple of codes there. The top code is a what looks like 00035 and a C0220. Left front wheel speed sensor circuit, front sensor supply voltage circuits, and left front ABS channel and release too long. So I know at a minimum I got to take the left front tire off and look at that whole system, but I figured if I'm in there, then what we're going to do is change out the wheel bearing, and we're doing a wheel hub from SKP under part number SK515110. So that's my job today. We are going to change that out. So I got to take this tire off, got to get this up on a jack stand to work on, and then we will see what we're looking at underneath there regards taking this all apart. Haven't worked on a truck like this. I've worked on my own truck. Full sizes are easy to work on, but I haven't worked on this, so I don't know what's in store. So I'm going to get it up in the air, get the tire off, and look at this and bring you guys back and share what I find with you. So I did some looking around. Compared to doing a full-size truck, this one is a little bit strange. So you can see you've got your standard 1, 2, 3. You got these 4 mount holes, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, but then you've got 6 going around here, and then your axle through here, which will also have the nut on the end of it. So if we come under here and look, so there's those 6 on the outside. There's your axle nut, and then it's kind of hard to see, but like, where's my, like right in here is another bolt, and that's where those other ones are. So it looks like caliper and bracket comes off, and then once we have that off, these 6 come off, this one comes off, the ones in the back come off, probably the rotor shield comes off. This basically, it seems like everything has to come off, which kind of sucks, because I discovered the boot is torn, which needs to be replaced, and this tie rod is cracked as well. So we got some other work to do in here, but today we're just doing this hub. So if it's not too bad and doesn't take too much time, maybe it'll be easy to do the rest of this stuff and have to take it all apart again. I don't know, but we'll have to add that to our shopping list So going to get started on this off, this off, this off, these out, and then we'll see about the back bolts. So I'm gonna get started and coming back if there's any weird issues. Here's what's going on. This is kind of, oh, this is kind of stupid. I don't know why they would overcomplicate things like this, but here's the deal. So these 6 bolts here, they hold the rotor on. So in this truck, if you ever want to replace your rotor, you end up having to pull all this apart, because in order to pull this part off, you have to take the 4 bolts off the back. So the 4 bolts have to come off, these 6 bolts come off, this whole piece comes off, then you can change your rotor. So to me, that is a little bit asinine. So these bolts in the back, these 4, so there's 4 bolts in the back. The 2 on the rear side, so this one up here, somewhere in there, it's hard to tell, but the one up in here and the one on the bottom, they're pretty easy. All you got to do is turn this way and you can get at them. The 2 on this side, the top one's easy, the bottom one, what I did for that is I grabbed a long 3/8 extension, and that allowed me to get to that bolt. So now that those are all done, now I can take this and it can come off, and this can now come off. But now you got the other fun part. So you can see here, this is the wire for the speed sensor. So this runs up here, across there. So this little clip is where the plug is. So that's pretty easy. So I thought it went further, but nope, it just stops basically right where that little clip is. So you just kind of have to feel in the back, and well, that clip is, or that little nib is where that is. So I'm going to get that taken off, then I can pull the hub, and then I can get the new one installed, and then that will be fixed. And then I'll show you some of the tools I used on this one, because it's a whole lot of different ones. So that'll be going in just a minute. Well, I said that I'm going to tell you and show you if I run into any issues. And I'm going to show you a really stupid design flaw here. So I'm assuming when we're doing this, if you look at the manual, they're probably going to tell you to take this whole knuckle off. I don't want to do that, and it kind of bit me in the butt. So okay, so it's, oh, there it is. I was like, where'd it go? So this is the harness for this. And on this harness is this bracket. And this bracket, so you can see this is the connector. This goes to the wheel bearing, and then it goes out. This hole is barely big enough, if you have the axle in there, to squeeze all of this through. Squeeze it this way, and or put it in, because this is on here and it really causes a problem. So, and this one here. So basically there's 2 things, there's a couple of different ways about doing this, and I wish the manufacturers didn't put this bracket on here and it was something to put on after the fact. So my suggestion is, if you're doing this and you're not pulling the knuckle, take the bracket off so that you can put it on after, and or just, if you wanted to, just leave it off. But I've decided to take it off, and it goes on this here, and it basically just holds this in a loop like that. So what I'm going to do is, I've taken this off, I'm going to run this all back through the hole. With that off, it should be easier. And then what you'll notice is, if you take a look here, you can see that there are wires sticking out. Now, the wires are not broken, they're still intact, thankfully. I did plug this in to check for codes. There was no pending codes, so this isn't broken or anything. But it is something that I need to be aware of when I have to replace the axle next time. All of this happened simply because I forgot to put the dust shield on before I put this on. So, dust shield, remember to put that on before I put this on. And remember to take this bracket off if you don't plan on taking the knuckle off. Just a little FYI, so you don't end up having to curse out yourself like I just had to, and pray and hope that this didn't get broken, which it's not. So now I can continue and finish this. Well, the job is finished. You can see I got everything put back together. Learned some things and some very important lessons. So first lesson has to do, as I said in my previous clip, is this bracket. Do yourself a favor, bend these two tabs so that you can just take this wire off, keep the bracket on there, and then that will come out a lot easier. And on the new one, take the bracket off, then you don't have to fight with that going through. The other thing to remember is that as you're assembling this, as you assemble this, you will need to ensure that you do have the brake rotor bolted back on and that the dust shield is behind everything before you try sliding this on. Otherwise, you gotta take it all apart and put it all back together. I'm usually pretty good at seeing things like that, so I'm not sure why it slipped past me this time, but it's my first time doing this. Could have read a manual, but I just chose to dive in head first. That way, I learn better that way, even though unfortunately that wire did take a casualty, but it's fine. I'll show you how I know that in a second. So when I do the other side, if I ever have to do it, or when this has to come off so I can do the axle, then it's there. Overall job, not difficult. Requires a few small hand tools, nothing crazy. The largest one is for the axle nut. But the other thing that I did when I was in here is I lubed up the brake pins so that they're all fresh lubed, so that there should be no problem with that. So those are done. You can see on the floor here the tools that I got. You know, you got your torque wrench, you know, some pliers, various sockets and wrenches and a hammer and etc, etc. Got my anti-seize over there. So it's all back together, and here's how I know that everything is okay. So if we go into the truck and we hook up my scanner, so first thing you'll notice is it no longer says ABS fault on the thing there. You'll notice the ABS light is off. If I come over here to my scanner and I go under history, just going to do a check here on the Silverado, or on the Colorado I should say. Silverado, Colorado. This is why this Ancel, this is the only thing I don't like about it, is that when it goes into decoding this VIN, it takes so long. I wish I had a different system that this took only half the time, but I think this thing was only like $180, $200 or something Canadian. So, you know, I can't really complain. So we'll just let this keep going and waiting. And still waiting. Still decoding VIN. Okay. So we got truck in with the base radio. Say yes to the info. You can see, still waiting. So now we do a quick scan. Oops. Quick scan. And you'll see it's doing a check on the SRS, supplemental restraint system. And it'll come up and say pass, no fault. And we're now doing the anti-lock brake system, and it's scanning. And it will come up in a second and say pass, no fault. So fix that one for this one. We still got some more maintenance we got to do on this one. Let me turn the key off and take this out. So next part that I got to do requires me leaving the tire off, so I'm not putting that on, because if you look under the truck, you'll notice Nice little pool accumulating down there on the floor. I will let you guys take a guess at what that is, and that will be what the next video is about, is to fix that, because that started happening in the middle of dead winter. And luckily it's not, this will kind of give it away, but it has something to do with that jug there, and we had to keep topping it off in the dead of winter. So that's the next thing to do on this truck. So this job overall, not too difficult, just a couple of things to keep your eyes out, make sure you follow, and just try not to damage that connector. It is in such a stupid place, such a stupid design, but it is what it is. You shouldn't have to be in there that often. Unfortunately, I do have to go back, because like I was saying, that axle is, both axle boots are torn, so that axle will have to come out. So, but for now, this side is done, and that light is off, and this thing will no longer ding, beep, and buzz, and whatever else it does. So I call that a win. So I chucked this one off the list, and we are done for the night. So I'm gonna pack it in, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.